Shalom, shalom, shalom to everyone watching. This is Rabbi Moshe Otero, Ways of Israel. I want to welcome you this morning to our class, Sefer Ikkarim, as we are really, the days are just going by so fast, but we have so much to cover. We're now almost, I would say, halfway through the last book of Sefer Ikkarim, and we've learned a lot with Rabbi Albo in his book of Sefer Ikkarim. And of course, we're doing this in memory of George Albo, Yehuda Natan, who passed away over a year ago. And in his memory, we're doing this series in English to help those of you understand the basic fundamentals of Judaism, at least from the perspective of Joseph Albo. He was very much of a rationalist in many aspects, and was very down to earth in his application of Torah and other materials in the Jewish, you might say, in the Jewish library of things. So we're going to get right into it. But before, I want to remind you to encourage you to join the Ways of Israel. And you can do so by downloading our application right here on the group page of Ways of Israel. You fill out the application and you send it to us. And our annual fee is only $100. It's nothing. But when you send it to us, we'll send you via WhatsApp or via email your identification card that will identify you as a member of the Ways of Israel. I'll have your picture on there and so forth. So please, if you want to help us out, become a member of the Ways of Israel, you can do so right now, just downloading the application for membership, filling it out. And there are two kinds of members within our organization. We have the people who are Jewish background. Doesn't matter if you're converted, halakhically, not a problem there, or you're a believer in the one God. And so we encourage you to be part of what we're doing here, all the way from South Florida, and reaching out thousands of people watching the videos, sharing the videos, and being part of our channel. Now, we have two channels also on YouTube. One of them mainly is focused in the Spanish arena, which is youtube.com/Mr. Caminos de Israel. And our English one that we recently opened up. Right now we have about 400 people approximately that have been subscribed, and it's growing. And that one is youtube.com/Ways of Israel. And of course, we also have a whole bunch of different WhatsApp study groups that you're welcome to be part of. And it's absolutely free. And you could be able to enjoy different rabbis, myself and other rabbis, sharing Torah shiurims and knowledge and incredible inspirational teachings by various rabbis throughout the world, as well as right here from South Florida. So be part of what we're doing. We usually share a lot of the videos of Rabbi from Bnei Sephardim, and also Rabbi from Goldberg and other rabbis, Rabbi Tahan and others, because we want Torah knowledge to get out there to you who are looking for answers to your life, to your walk, and so forth. So be part of what we're doing, and we will thank you that you're part of what we're doing. And let's get right into today's study, because like I said, time goes by so fast. We have so much to cover. Okay, so chapter 14 of Sefer HaIkkarim, Rabbi Albo says that having explained the justice of God's way, and having made it clear that we have no complaint to make either on account of adversity of the righteous or prosperity of the wicked, we must now give a reason why the prophets and the sages were so much exercised about these two phenomena. For according to the rabbis, even Moses had his perplexing questions in mind when he said to God, "Show me mercy now, thy ways, that I may know thee." And Job too complained of this, as we have seen. Asaph also said, "But as for me, my feet were almost gone, for I was envious at the arrogant, when I saw the prosperity of the wicked." This is the problem of the prosperity of the wicked. And in the sequel he says, "Surely in vain I have cleansed my heart and washed my hands in innocency. For all of the days I have been plagued, and I have been and my chastisement came every morning." This deals with the problem of adversities of the righteous, and Jeremiah also says, Wherefore doth the way of the wicked prosper? Habakkuk, another prophet, says, Wherefore lookest thou when they deal treacherously, and holdeth thy peace? When the wicked swallows up the man that is more righteous than he. And again, for the wicked doth beset the righteous, and therefore right goes forth perverted, says Habakkuk. And Malachi says, the prophet Malachi says, Ye have wearied the Lord with your words. Yea, ye say, Wherein have we wearied him? And that he says that everyone doeth evil is good in the sight of the Lord. Also, yes, the work of wickedness are built up. Yea, they try God and are delivered. Now Ecclesiastes says, There is a vanity which is done upon the earth, that there are righteous men unto whom it happeneth according to the work of the wicked, and again they are wicked men, to whom it happens according to the work of righteous. And there are many other passages in the prophets besides this. So this matter surely requires some explanation. Asaph, it seems to me, says Rabbi Albo, set down difficulties in the 73rd Psalms in order to state their solution. His solution of two questions, the adversity of the righteous and the prosperity of the wicked, is like that which we discussed under the second heading. He again begins, surely God is good to Israel, meaning to emphasize that the fact that every evil which comes to the righteous is for a good purpose. This is the way he says, surely, meaning that though at first sight it does not seem that the evil which comes to Israel are also righteous, is good, and nevertheless is also nothing else than a good. However, the knowledge that it is not good, not even to give to everyone, but only to such as pure in heart. All other people are ready to believe erroneously that the evil which comes to Israel is not for a good purpose. This is why he says, As for me, my feet were almost gone. You think and you hear Rabbi Albo's word, and you're thinking for some reason the inquisitions and the programs that even his community had to go through, and even in the future, which was the Holocaust, which till this day it's completely unbeknownst to many, how could God allow this to happen? And yet we read, As for me, my feet were almost gone. The reason is because I was envious at the arrogant and their prosperity, and I saw the continual peace of the wicked and their tranquility, like nothing was ever happening, which endures as long as they live. They die without pain or suffering, for there are no pangs at their death. Their health is good at the time of their death, and even in the lifetime. In the trouble of man they are not, and therefore pride is as a chain about their neck. And you wonder, is this justice? Is this God's justice? And so he goes on describing their prosperity. Their eyes stands forth from fatness, and they are handsome in form and appearance. Their color is whiter than fat, and the meaning is that they are so fat that their eyes protrude from the abundance of fat. And lest one think that the fat disfigures them and make them ugly in form and figures, he says, they are gone beyond the imaginations of the heart, and they are more handsome than any picture and you can imagine in one's heart. Moreover, they are unpleasant to their fellow men. In other words, they're pain in the tuchus, and they scoff, and in the wickedness, their utter oppression. They are also wicked in relations to God. They speak as if they were none on high. In other words, they don't believe that they're going to have to give an answer to God. They have set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth, literally, as it were, dust. Then he explains that the evil which follows from the prosperity of these men are, therefore, his people returned to crushed. The meaning is that when the people of Israel see the prosperity of the wicked, in this way they return beaten down and crushed to their homes, and waters of their fullness are drained out by them. They imbibe a spirit of unbelief from these bad waters, from the man who is full, and they are led to deny the providence and to say, how does God know? And there is knowledge in the Most High? Behold, such are the wicked, and they are always at ease and increasing their riches. Therefore it is vain to serve God, and in vain have I cleansed my heart and washed my hands in innocency from sin. For with all that I have been plagued, the whole day I have endured suffering every day, and my chastisement comes every morning. Then the psalmist proceeds, if I should express such doubts as these, I would be excluded from the company of righteous men, and be faithful to the generation of thy children. And if I should try to know the reason of all of this, it would be wearisome in my eyes until I've entered into the sanctuaries of God, a place where every man is destined to come at the end of his life, and his soul may unite with other souls. An interesting concept Alba brings. He sees the idea that all the children goes into the house of God and eventually are destined there at the end of his life. In this, his soul may unite with other souls. He calls it the sanctuaries, plural, of God, because it's under the throne of God and is divided into different parts for various degrees of soul. Interesting. This is the concept that in our Father's house there are many habitations or dwellings, and they're considered their end and the end of the wicked men, to see whether they can cleave and unite to the holy place. But I see that they cannot cleave to it, because everything cleaves to its like that place, because it is contrary to their nature. They will rather slip away from it and fall into a place, and as a result thou hurlest them down to the utter ruin. Or we may say that the verse in question is an allusion to the fact that in giving prosperity to the wicked in this world, God merely humors them so that they may not repent, to the end that they may enjoy the few merits which they have in this world and be hurled down to everlasting ruin to the world to come. And then they will become a desolation in a moment, as a dream which one dreams while sleeping during waking time, namely during the day. In the very short and insignificant, so wilt thou despise the image, literally the zemlem, which refers to the image of God in man. Thou wilt despise their image, their soul, as Maimonides interprets the word image, zelem. This is the solution to the problem of the prosperity of the wicked, as we discussed under the second heading. And there he undertakes to solve the problem of the adversity of the righteous in a different way. The evil which comes to the righteous, he says, is not evil if we consider the eternal good which is destined for him. For my heart is in a ferment. Although I have assigned reason for the prosperity of the wicked, the problem of adversity of the righteous still remains, and my heart is in a ferment about it. And I am pricked in my veins, and with all of this I am a brutish and ignorant, knowing not the reason for the adversity of the righteous. But I see and feel in myself, says Rabbi Albo, that when I am continuously with thee, and my thoughts that cleave to thee, thou holdest my right hand to help me deliver me from the accidents that would come to me by the laws of natural world. As the psalmist says in another passage, my soul cleaveth unto thee, thy right hand holdeth me fast. The meaning is, when my soul cleaves to thee, I follow after thee and serve thee with a pure heart, and I am immediately upheld by thy right hand, the divine providence which helps me, as though thou didst hold my right hand and guards me from injury. And I see that during my corporeal life, that thou guideth me with thy counsel, with the divine inspiration, as we said in the 11th chapter of this book. Thou guideth and leadeth me so that I am saved from the hand of the evil one. And after this life, thou wilt receive me with glory. On this great glory, the distinctions which are destined for me, I ponder and I say, whom have I in heaven but thee? Namely, that thou glory which hovers over me and takes care of me from heaven. And besides thee, whom I have in heaven, I desire nothing upon the earth. For I know that when the body and its power, my flesh and my heart, those psychic powers which are dependent upon the body, are destroyed, and I am not destroyed, there will still remain something permanent in me, the rock of my heart, the rational power which is a permanent as strong as a rock, and my portion in existence is that I shall cleave to God forever, because he is eternal, and I shall not fear the destruction, since I cleave to an eternal being. But they that go far from thee shall perish. Note without doubt, thou wilt destroy all of them that go astray from thee. Listen to the words of Rabbi Albo in this. God will destroy all of them that goes astray from thee. Thou who depart from thee and cleave is to something else. In other words, if you're cleaving to something else that's not God, you're in trouble, my friends. But as for me, the nearness of God is my good. All my good is that I may cleave to the good, and to cleave to God. And I shall make the Lord my God my refuge, that I will tell of all of thy works, in the mission of all the prophets, and the wonders performed by them. This is the method in which Asaph solved these problems, and it is a correct and agreement with the truth. And thus Rabbi Albo ends with the summary verse that in fact the words and the method that Asaph used, when we find that in the book of Psalms, is in agreement with his position and the truth itself. And so we see that man has the choice to walk and cleave to God, or not walk and not cleave to God and move away from God, and each one has a reward and compensation for the decision from their free will that they have. And now, here he ends chapter 14. In our next chapter, with Hashem's help, we will take a look at the next question he sets up is, why did the prophets who came after concern themselves with the same problem? And what new ideas did they contribute to the problems or to the solution? And here we're going to take a look at Rabbi Albo in the 15th chapter, as we are almost like halfway done with this last book of Rabbi Albo's Sefer Ikkarim. I want to also remind you this morning to remember to be part of the ways of Israel, and remember to give tzedakah, if not to ways of Israel, los Israel, give it to your local shuls, give it to people that you're near. Right now there's an opportune time in which you can practice tzedakah. You can practice giving help to others. Our organization have selected already certain goals in which we need tzedakah to be able to achieve. And obviously I don't do this full time. I do this in order to help and contribute in the ways of the Torah and the ways of Israel, and to help you learn a little bit more about Torah Judaism. So be part of this movement. It's a large movement. A lot of people are joining. And if you're a rabbi and you're independent, you're an Orthodox rabbi, you're independent, you're not connected to any other institution or movement, I invite you to join us. We are trying to form, you might say, a network of rabbis and communities, independent, within an independent Sephardic tradition, that will be a movement that we will be able to strengthen as we refer new people to join your community. So be part of what we're doing. Be more than happy to send you our affiliation papers or application to you if you wish to do so. You can also join what we're doing on WhatsApp, and we have a whole entire group of the administrators and rabbis of the ways of Israel, los Israel, that basically work in developing and helping each other develop the communities. Sometimes we just need to talk to each other about things that they're facing in their local communities, and this is why we have this incredible page to be able to help each other out in what we can. This is Rabbi Moshe Otero, and remember, when you have the opportunity to do good, do it. It's God's way of saying He wants to reward you. He wants to bless you. He wants to strengthen you with His blessing from above as well as from below, which means the material things as well. God bless you, and look forward to speaking with you and sharing more Torah thought today and tomorrow morning. Shalom.